All right, welcome to Speak for Yourself. I'm Jason Whitlock. That is Marcellus Wiley, that dude.
Yes, sir.
Coming up, Le'Veon Bell has a new team and a new contract, but how happy is he today?
And I've got a new edition of the Emmy Award-winning That Dude's Dude.
Dun, da, da, da.
But we start every day with a Whitlock, so hit 'em, big dog.
Oh, you ready, Marcellus?
Yeah, I'm ready.
TJ, Sean, y'all ready?
We ready,
Whit? Are you?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let me break it down. Cleveland Browns, I must warn you. I sense something strange in my mind. Situation is serious. Y'all better cure it because y'all running out of time. OBJ is poison. Poison. Poison.
Poison.
The Cleveland Browns must have just violated the first rule of the NFL offseason. Never trust a big butt and a smile. Beware he's scheming. He'll make you think you're dreaming. Cleveland fans gonna fall in love, and soon they'll be screaming demon. He's a highlight show who needs his hair cut into an afro. He's a winner to you, but I know OBJ is a loser. How do you know? Before the playoffs, he boarded a cruiser. I get the celebration in Cleveland. Odell Beckham Jr., Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry, and Kareem Hunt sound so damn good on paper. It's an NFL dream team. They're the Golden State Warriors of football. Baker Mayfield is Steph Curry, OBJ is Kevin Durant, Jarvis Landry's Klay Thompson, and Kareem Hunt is Draymond Green. I guess that would make Hugh Jackson, Mark Jackson, and Freddie Kitchens is Steve Kerr. The difference is the Oklahoma City Thunder begged Kevin Durant to stay. The New York Giants essentially gave away OBJ after lavishing $21 million on him just last season. OBJ is the supermodel spouse who comes home to find their bags packed and neatly placed on the front lawn. The neighbors are all peering out from behind their curtains and wondering what could have led to that. I thought they were the perfect couple. I can't believe he didn't make her happy. This is what poison looks like. You flush it down the toilet and you don't care how much money and time you previously wasted on it. You just want it out of your house. You can marvel at the Browns' new lineup. I'm more interested in how much of a headache OBJ was for the Giants to dump him. If I were the Browns, I'd take precautions before I start making Super Bowl plans. All right, joining the desk now, my backup singers, former Pro Bowler Sean Merriman and TJ Hushmanzada. Marcellus, I'll start with you, or call you Ronnie from Bell Biv DeVoe. Start with you. Will OBJ be poison for the Browns?
No, he won't be poison for the Browns. Great Whitlock. I was like, where is he going to get this one? Where is this going to take us? How do you know?
Yo, slick.
Yeah. Oh, man, this is an amazing opportunity if you're Odell Beckham Jr. You wake up with that juice. You wake up on your toes, that pep in your step the entire offseason. We always talk about it in football, how you finish the season, whether it's a playoff run or it's just a team that's not going to make the playoffs, but that last game or so. How do you go into the offseason? Imagine if you're Odell Beckham Jr. now and your offseason just went like this. You went from a quarterback who is still an ambassador more so than a quarterback in Eli Manning, all respect to his resume, but no respect to how he could get you the football down the field. You're Odell Beckham, you're running 9 routes, you're like, damn, dog, can you at least get me the ball? That frustration that spilled over to the Josina Anderson interview and all the other situations, respectfully, where he took his shots at Eli Manning. And now you got Baker Mayfield. Not only somebody who can get you the ball, but somebody who's on your same page in terms of the age and the way that they go about the game. And I think all these things are going to add up to being a successful story for Odell Beckham, who's now going to be without the frustration of having to respect somebody who just doesn't play the game the same way that he does. I think Odell is definitely happy today.
You know, he's not poison. He's the antidote for this team. If you look at the Cleveland Browns,
what did he cure in New York?
Well, it's not. First of all, he wasn't the problem in New York. There was much bigger problem. That problem started at the quarterback position. They just failed to realize that he was a problem, and he should have been moved 2 years ago. So him being out of New York, now with somebody like Marcellus said, they can give him the ball. More importantly, the games that the Cleveland Browns lost last year, the close ones, you think Odell Beckham wouldn't give them that spark or that one big play to go and change the course of the game for him. That's why guys like this get paid in the first place. It's not about them consistently going out and having these big games. Odell's been hurt, right? He's been, he's been banged up on and off for the past year or so. So he's not getting paid for his consistency. He's getting paid because he's coming into an organization, a quarterback that can get him a football. He can stretch the field, cause problems for defenses, and absorb all the attention for other guys to go make plays. That's why you bring a guy like this in, not because he's going to consistently go out there and play 16 games for you. He's going to go out and do everything you ask him to do. You're bringing him in because he can change the course of those 1 or 2 games or 3 games you guys lost last year. You put a guy like Odell Beckham in this system, he's going to win those games for you personally.
Not poison at all. This is an asset for the Browns. I'm shocked that the Giants got fleeced. They literally just gave him away, in my opinion. I'm a receiver, and Odell Beckham is one of the top 2 talented receivers in the league, along with Julio Jones. Those 2 guys are by far and away the best 2 receivers in the NFL. It's not even close.
Antonio Brown, no? It's
Talent,
not close?
No.
Okay, all right.
No. Antonio Brown
Work ethic-wise, yeah.
Antonio Brown is a good receiver. Odell Beckham and Julio Jones, they're here.
Oh, yeah. Another conversation another day. I just was like, whoa.
And so when I look at it, it's what Sean said. The game plan, they're going to have to put a safety over the top. So they got everybody talking about Jarvis Landry and Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, but now this is going to open it up for Njoku as well, the tight end.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Baker Mayfield has a lot of dog in him and a lot of his attitude. This is perfect for him because he can talk trash right back to you when you get out of pocket, he feels, because that's his personality. The problem I'm going to have with this is how is Freddie Kitchens as a first-time offensive coordinator for half of the season last year and being a head, how is he going to handle this? That's going to be the biggest thing because he has never been put in this type of situation. How can he navigate through this season and keep Odell Beckham happy? Because we receivers, we want the ball. They going to double him. How do they handle and navigate through that season? Because it's going to be long.
Why are y'all acting like a zebra is going to change its stripes?
Let me ask you this before you get going. What has Odell Beckham done for you to brand him poison? Because he's competitive and the Giants suck?
No, because the Giants just got rid of their most talented player. That, to me, is a red flag. When you see somebody, when Sean Merriman gets dumped by a woman, that's a red flag. There's a problem with Sean Merriman.
Which most of the time is.
It depends on who the woman is.
Could it be? Giants, what are you doing?
Thank you.
Why can't we flip that and say,
We
Gettleman,
can.
what are you doing?
Dave Gettleman, once
You
again.
gave me $21 million for 12 games, and now what are you doing? You didn't know this last year?
They're 6-15 without him. So this is what I don't understand. They're getting rid of all the guys who contributed to you winning football games, and you kept the one that's contributing to you losing. They're 6-15 without him on the football field. So I don't understand how this makes them better.
You see the messaging that is being sent to the locker room when you keep Eli on that Kobe contract them last 2 years. You're paying him. He's a $23 million cap hit, and guys are like, look, the remains of Eli Manning are still playing on this field, not the great.
Are they tanking?
The ass is right. So now
I tell you, they're tanking for Zion.
we're rebuilding right now. We're
They're actually
tanking.
tanking for Tua, but go ahead.
Okay, if you're tanking for Tua, guess what you're not doing? Is going to sit there and let Odell Beckham be disgruntled, be upset because he's competitive. He's actually trying to pull this boat when you're actually trying to say, no, we're trying to sit idle. As a matter of fact, we're trying to go in reverse to get something better going forward.
And this is why I'll defend the Giants.
Okay.
Get out ahead of this before you have an Antonio Brown situation where you really get nothing in return for your disgruntled, greedy receiver. Before we switch all the way over to the Giants, so I just want to say this about the Browns. I like Jarvis Landry, Kareem Hunt, the tight end, Baker Mayfield. I just think this is greed. This is like, you putting too many chemicals into this deal.
Oh, really?
When you go with OBJ, yes.
Why?
And again, he's a number 1 receiver who really doesn't believe in a number 2. He wants a number 3 receiver. Jarvis Landry's getting paid, I think, $17 million or something as well. Jarvis and him, friends from LSU and they boys, blah, blah, blah. Watch what happens now.
You said this about the Rams. I mean, we had these discussions. You were saying, y'all adding too many pieces. This ain't going to be Voltron. This is too much of the same and too many pieces.
They had a horrible defense.
Hold on. And the Rams were the NFC champions.
And they had a horrible defense. Run defense.
And they came second to the dynastic Patriots.
Should have lost to the Saints.
We're going shoulda now. What show was that?
The show they have it in New Orleans. The show they have it in New Orleans where they say
You think that the Cleveland Browns wouldn't sign up right now to come in second place in anything, whether it's not just a division, but second in the NFL? They're signing up to get that juice, to get that jolt of energy. And Odell Beckham will provide it. I don't think.
How long will he be happy, Marcellus? Honest to goodness.
Is he happy now? I mean, this is all on paper. I know he's pumped.
He's playing with a better quarterback off top.
Thank you.
So just the fact that you're playing with a better quarterback
Somebody who
as
can
a
get you the football.
receiver, it's refreshing.
Yes.
And so you're going to work a little harder in the offseason. You're going to be a little more.
The dude's a brand and it's Cleveland.
But at the end of the day, he's
LeBron had
player.
a problem with that.
Hey,
Huh?
that's why LeBron's here.
And what's bigger in Cleveland, the Cavs or the Browns?
At the end of the day, he's a football player. And when you're a receiver, your quarterback has to be able to get you the ball. Say what you want about Baker Mayfield. He can throw the ball, and he's going to get him to rock.
And not scared to throw it.
He's going to get him to rock.
50-50 balls. They coming.
Y'all honestly think, and again, you're talking about two very headstrong, dynamic personalities, Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham Jr.
It's going to work.
Why?
It's no different than what they had up in Pittsburgh, right? Antonio Brown with Juju. That's the same thing. And now you got Kareem Hunt in the backfield.
Now you got Antonio Brown out of there.
But you know what? For a certain amount of years, they had a great run.
Many years.
Many years. They had a great run. So that's what they're. And I don't think Juice Landry, he got a problem at all being the number 2 wide receiver. Because now, Juju is going to be forced to go and be the number 1, which he won't be.
Landry wanted Odell Beckham
He
on
wanted
the
to
Cleveland
come
Browns. So you wanted him on that team, you're going to accept everything that comes with it.
Include the single coverage.
Exactly.
I'm accepting that single coverage quick.
Sounds great on paper. There's so much more to football. It's not like basketball. Just put a bunch of stars together. I've seen these NFL dream teams. It never works.
The Rams didn't work? That was a dream team. The Rams just
Make
worked.
it to the Super Bowl, it worked.
It worked.
Jared Goff's a completely different personality than Baker Mayfield.
But Baker Mayfield can throw that ball like
can.
Jared Goff, though. Goff can throw that ball.
Hopefully, he's going to have to throw it better than Jared Goff. I just don't. Odell is too much. There's a reason. When you get dumped and you got that much talent, there's a reason. There will be headaches in Cleveland, enormous headaches. Because, one, he's going to be there like he's doing them a favor. Now,
Could it be that the Giants really think they got over? We got a first-round pick, which is 17. We got a third-round pick.
They think they got over.
We got Jabril Peppers, who was a
nice.
first-round pick.
Right.
So they could look at it as if we got a lot for this.
I don't think they feel like they got over. I think they got out from underneath their Odell Beckham headache, and he's been a headache. When you're that talented and they get rid of you, that's a red flag.
It's not a red flag.
It's not a red flag. I think that they look at their record with Odell and they look at their overall team and them losing anyway. They probably already said, let's just chalk this up. We'll get rid of the $21 million that we paid them last year and then move on and start rebuilding. I don't think that they're saying we won. I just think that they're saying we wasn't doing well to begin with. So getting rid of Odell, how much worse can we really do at this point? So now you get rid of a guy like that. I think that if you look at Cleveland, I think they really took something from the Rams in buying championships. And now NFL teams are starting to realize that now you can go after talent, get these big names on the team, and get you to a Super Bowl. If the Rams made this blueprint for everybody, that's what Cleveland has now just done, bought themselves a winning team.
We going back to Cleveland, I don't mind. Is Sean McVay coaching the Browns? Is that who Freddie Kitchens is?
No.
Is Wade Phillips over there?
But Sean McVay was nobody until Sean McVay was Sean McVay, and that took him 2 years.
Freddie Kitchens the wild card. We
don't know, so I'm not going to condemn that. I'm looking at the Giants like, one, we're giving them way too much credit if we think Odell is an issue, because this is a guy who brings superstar coverage. When you're tanking or rebuilding, guess what you don't want? Someone who's not going to pull in the same direction as everyone else, as the ambassador Eli will lead and say, hey, guys, we're just going to give it our best. We don't have an O-line. We don't have a quarterback. Odell is not sitting there comfortable in that position.
You don't have a problem with what the Giants did?
I do have a problem with the fact that we're giving the Giants credit and getting rid of Odell, because what they're doing is interesting. Dave Gettleman It's the same Dave Gettleman we were warned about. D'Angelo Williams told us about him.
Steve
Smith.
Senior told Josh Norman. They all said, watch out for this dude in terms of he got rid of a lot of great talent when it was in Carolina. He gets to the Giants. What's happening now? Where's Olivia Vernon right now?
Cleveland.
Yep. Where's Odell? Cleveland. And now we're sitting at Landon Collins. Landon Collins gone.
It's just start back with Eli Apple.
I mean,
Are
we
we
respecting
respecting
how much?
different than any corporate strategy when it goes through a reorganization and a rebuild? They come in, they bring in somebody who's man enough to do
You
that.
usually look at who is eating up my cap the most and giving me the least production, and let's start there.
And he's still there.
Oh, but he's still there. So Odell's like, I'm not pulling in that direction, and that's what you get, hitting your head on goalposts and stuff like that, because you're sitting there frustrated. He's not
The
frustrated
majority of the
anymore.
guys on that team, they not happy with this move. He was like, when he signed this contract, guys was in the locker room celebrating like it was their contract. So that shows you he's liked in that locker room. They sitting here, they texting each other right now when that trade, bro, what we doing, bro? Guarantee.
That's commonplace in any corporation when there's great change. New boss comes in, washes out some of the old to bring in, to set in a new strategy, chemistry, culture there in New York.
How long is that going to take?
I don't know if it takes that long. One, I think they got the 6th pick. They may take this quarterback out of Ohio State. They may go up and get Kyler Murray at the top of the draft. I don't blame them for saying, you know what, we don't have the pieces in place to win now. Let's move Odell before he becomes a major headache. And again, generates more of the coverage that you're talking, the media coverage, the focus and scrutiny and intensity. We're going a different direction. We don't need him sitting on TV with Lil Wayne, bad-mouthing the entire organization. Let's move on from that. And again, I think they may go out this year and try to get their quarterback.
That was his one misstep, in my opinion, in his tenure with the Giants when he did that interview with Lil Wayne. Outside of that, no
I mean,
problem.
but look,
The
you can
vote
take
party
that.
before
I
the
can take
playoffs.
that.
You can take that.
The vote party before the playoffs.
I don't need Eli
I
taking these sacks. I mean, I could take an interview. Taking the sacks and just not getting the ball to your receivers when they're wide open and they're trying to be respectful. The craziest thing about it is, let's live in the parallel universe. What if they had fixed the quarterback position and kept Odell versus,
Thank you.
we're going to keep Eli and get rid of Odell? Which one's a quicker fix?
Who's the fix?
They needed
Sam
a quarterback.
Darnold? I mean, what?
Yeah, well,
They had an opportunity last year, since 2015, other than last year for Eli. They had years where they could have looked at one quarterback and got that fixed.
Hey guys, Jason Whitlock here. This Saturday night, don't miss the biggest pay-per-view fight of the year. Two of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world put their perfect records on the line. Errol Spence Jr. takes on Mikey Garcia for the World Welterweight Championship live from AT&T Stadium. Spence Jr. versus Garcia, Saturday, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, live on pay-per-view. Order now!
Let's return to the NFL. Time for a big story delivered by Papa John's. After much speculation, Le'Veon Bell has reportedly agreed to a 4-year, $52.5 million contract, $35 million in guaranteed, which is guaranteed with the New York Jets. Bell sat out the entire 2018 season after the Steelers tagged him for a second consecutive year, and as a result, he didn't see a dime of the $14.5 million he was owed. Bell's gamble to sit out lands him with a Jets team that went 4-12 last season and haven't made the playoffs since 2010. Le'Veon had previously been on record via Twitter that he wouldn't play for the Jets for $60 million. Good thing they gave him 61.
There it is. Hey, new information. Let me get that one.
Yeah.
How much for $1 more million?
I don't think he's happy. I think he's upset with his agent. I go back, the same thing I said about Drew Rosenhaus put AB in a bad contract, then had to create a mess to fix it. And this guy's, why am I forgetting his name?
Le'Veon
A
Bell.
decent
Le'Veon Bell.
It's our Friday. That's why. Your head in the parking lot.
Le'Veon Bell's agent
Yeah.
talked him into some real mess here, man.
Oh, man, you're a gambling man, so you've been to Vegas. I don't know if you've had this feeling before where you like, oh, I'm about to hit him over the head. Oh, I'm about to get him. Yeah. And they like, But you still got your chips. You still here, and you're like, all right, you know what? This is a good time to go. This is a good time to roll out. Because you were thinking you about to break them. And they didn't break you either. So how did he wake up? He wasn't happy, not fully, but he wasn't sad. He didn't set the bar like he wanted to. Adrian Peterson, Todd Gurley of late at that position were all bar setters. He thought he was next. So he's sitting there a little conflicted. And you know, when you shoot for the stars and you land on the moon, you shouldn't be upset at that arrival, even though it's not what you desired. He did a lot. A lot of theatrics, a lot went into this to not get exactly what he wanted. I think that's the regret, but where he landed is still a great place.
You know, it's dependent on how you look at this whole thing, right? Because if you look at the $14 million that he lost, you're never going to be able to get that money back.
Gone.
No matter what. But if you look at the guarantee that he wanted, especially at the position that he's at, if he was at anywhere else, I would say, you know what, this is a horrible move. If he was at wide receiver, quarterback, and he set out and did this, I would say this is horrible. But the running back position is the most devalued position in football. All it takes is one injury, one bad year for you to get totally devalued of what you're really worth. So what he did ultimately was sit out that year so he can get the guarantee no matter what happens with the Jets. I believe that, as you said, he's probably unhappy with his age and he thought he's going to get a bigger guarantee over a longer period of time. But it was 2 times as much as they were offering. If he came back and played and he had one bad year, he would have gotten nowhere close to the $35 million he's guaranteed by the Jets.
It's what Marcellus said. He's a little upset, but it's like, all right, I still got $35 million guaranteed. What I don't understand about this, we've all played. Normally your agent's gonna call around before you decide to sit out a year and say, 1, who's interested, and 2, what are y'all interested in giving him? And they just completely overplayed this. I'm actually shocked that he's at 13-1 to see. He's better than that. And it's one of those things where he knows he's better than what he has, but it was like, what do I do? This is the best offer. I have no choice but to take this. And he kind of overplayed his hand. And him sitting out of the year, $14.5 million.
Yeah, can't get that back.
One, you don't get that back.
I'm going to give you another Vegas analogy. I like your gambling analogy. And what he's doing is somebody had to convince me of this. I used to win money in Vegas, and then you start saying, I'm playing with they money.
Oh, yeah.
But it's really your money.
Right. They money, that's in your hands. That ain't they money, that's your money.
Exactly.
And anytime you lose it, that's your money that's losing.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. He feels like he's playing, I only lost their money. No, bro. You lost your money.
Yeah.
That's you and your agent's fault. Y'all went about, I'm telling you, when you get caught up in emotions and think you in a war with the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's all just a bickering about money. And just keep it there. Keep your emotions out of it. Don't get nothing personal with the offensive lineman. Nobody, when he would, remember when
They made it personal.
I get it, but
They started that.
But just remember, I think it was the year before when he did the little rap song out in front of his house or whatever. And you know, it became a little too personal, in my opinion, and it blew up in the guy's face. And then the last thing, he's got to play for the Jets, man. The Jets ain't won nothing.
Jets gonna be
Fireman
better.
in
The Jets gonna be better.
J-E-T-S.
They ain't won nothing since Joe Namath, man.
They was winning
No,
with Rex
Wayne
Ryan.
Corbett,
Don't get him.
Keyshawn and them.
Rex Ryan, they did all right with Rex Ryan.
Yeah. They went to
They did
AFC
all right.
Championship game
The
a couple
Steelers
times. Couple back.
versus the Jets.
No, we ain't doing that. But you know what? It could be worse. I will give you, look, I'm not his agent, but I'm going to be his therapist right now. This is how you feel better about your situation. You just turned 27. Oh, okay. That's not bad. So I could get another deal. Think about it. I'll turn 31, and then this contract will be over. Get another deal at 31 years old if you're playing well at the position. 2, last year was a red shirt year for him. And I remember when
400 touches that he didn't have.
He didn't have. When I fell off the cliff, I had 5 surgeries in 4 years, and it went phew. And I swear, my only regret of my entire career was like, damn it, why don't you just take a year off, red shirt, stop the bleeding, and then come back fresh, everything in alignment, everything recalibrated. He got an opportunity to do that without those 400 touches. And most importantly, he got caught up in the sauce. Agents do this. I think his agent did his intel. When I was a free agent, my agent went around and said, who wants him? One team promised me $50 million. They said, we got him for $50 million. I ended up signing for 40 with a different team. Where was that $50 million? It was there before we could talk about it and sign it. But when the moment of truth came, we got other needs, other things. I think it happens more often than not. Your agent did his job.
Things just change.
Things just change.
Yeah, but Le'Veon makes his own own choices. Your agent will lay the options out for you. And then he'll give them the option, hey, you can go into camp and maybe not practice every day. You can call your own shots. Maybe you only practice 1 or 2 days a week. But you go and take that guaranteed money. I don't care who you are. You can't get $14 million back no matter how you look at it.
Right.
So if I was him, after speaking with my agent, I said, hey, what's the best thing for me to do because I want my $14 million? And let's start talking from there. I guarantee that didn't happen. Because there's no way, I don't care how much money you got in the bank, you're saying, you know what, I'm okay with losing $14 million. Nobody's okay with losing $14 million.
Show up in first play, you hurt your hamstring.
That's, hey, I can't practice on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays, Coach. I'll even go on Fridays and get ready for the game on Saturday.
San Fran was also in the running. I thought he would take San Fran over the Jets. That kind of was a
Less money.
More money.
Joined now by Clippers great Montrezl Harrell, the modern-day Charles Oakley.
Say it with your chest.
Marcellus wants to fan out with you here in a minute,
Damn
but
right.
first, it's time for Dat Dude's Dudes. What you got?
The beefiest front court ever. Look at us three right here on the floor. Oh, man, let's start with our third Dat Dude of the week, Jazz forward Royce O'Neal. Blades of glory. Starting off in Utah, Paul George. Oh, my God. Ooh! Leaves Royce O'Neal alone in the corner. Hey, and O'Neal with a nice step back to stun George and drives for the layup. Oh, my man, what you doing out there? Ooh, get them figure skates on. You've been down to Staples Center at Christmas time. Got them skates on, Paul George. Oh, we saw this. Zion in your Paul George shoes. My shoe. Caught an L right there. And now, thank God your shoes work because they're your shoes. They should, right? So they didn't explode. But now you got caught in that three-point stand. And now, oh, Neil just drives by you. Easy for the layup. No defensive help on that play right there, Paul George. Hey, man, I know you balling this year, but I got you there. All right, number 3, Dat Dude of the week, Royce O'Neal. Let's go to number 2. Warriors guard Klay Thompson up in that area. Putting up a show. Klay Thompson, first of all, gets to the corner, gets to that 3. Wet. And then Klay Thompson on the defensive end. He's going to get his block shot on Devin Booker. Okay, let's go run out in transition. You see him light it up. He's light-skinned, but he don't need that light, but he still got it on him. And then hit the corner right there. Klay Thompson with the reverse jam. Oh, raise the roof. Oh, wrong era. Nobody's getting pumped with him. All right.
No, that's
there
coming
you
back,
go.
man. That's coming back.
Yeah, that's coming back.
Yeah.
There are your teammates. Now, Klay Thompson, when he hits the three-pointer right here, bow, wet. Now you see him play defense against SWAT. Look at that. Everybody got to look out. He doesn't dunk a lot, but he dunked on that play. Oh, let's give him a 50 for that dunk because we don't see it that often. A rare feat for one Klay Thompson. And he's looking around. Where's the love? Where's the love? Oh, you remember he was complaining about the fans having no energy? Not one fan is standing. Damn! The ref is. That's it. Not a single fan in that arena.
They're going to win.
They're going to win at the end. All right, Klay. Number 2, Dat Dude of the week. Now let's get to our number 1 Dat Dude of the week, Derrick Jones Jr., South Beach Air. Go to Miami. Raptors turnover. Bam Adebayo lobs it up to Derrick Jones Jr. for the best dunk I've seen in a many years. He got up there so high, didn't know what to do. 4.6 feet. That's 54 inches for y'all out there. Didn't know what to do that high. Said, let me just throw this thing down. Is that a dunk, Montrez, or not? Because he didn't touch the rim.
I mean, that one, yeah, that's a dunk, man.
It's a dunk because it's that sick.
That's
Air
tough.
Jordan logo style.
No, I like
That
to
is
do
a
that.
logo.
That's
Ooh,
tough.
I like them shoes, too. I know Montrez love them kicks all day long. Sick with it. You put him on the logo now because this is the new face of dunking out of the arena. Out of this world. How high did this dude get? I have not seen a dude get this leap before this high. And thumbs down with the death throw. Ooh, Derrick Jones. That dude.
Where the fans at?
Man, that's Miami, man.
Great job by us. All right, everyone. It's talking about Russell Westbrook's fan confrontation. Montrez, you've had some experience battling with fans.
Sure.
I'm 50 years old, man. Help me understand why you can't just ignore idiot fans.
I mean, because at the same time, man, we're still grown men. You're a grown man just like I'm a grown man. So when you start to talk about my family ones, my loved ones, my kids, different things like that, being disrespectful, now you're starting to come outside those lines of, the game of basketball. Now you're not, really tied into what's going on in that moment. Now you're going deeper into, things that we care and love dear to our heart, So at the same time, it's a level of respect thing.
Now, there's a tipping point because there are 82 games. You always hear something crazy.
Right.
It's not the first time that you hear it, but why do you respond to like that fan? You got fined $25,000 for responding to one fan. What happens in that moment of truth where you're just like, all right, enough's enough?
Because, like you said, enough is enough, man. At a certain point, you know, when you're hearing these things over and over, you know, you're already hearing in different arenas. Okay, you're taught to turn the other cheek, and, you know, you're supposed to be the bigger man, you know. But at a certain time, you know, it's starting to get annoying, man. We're out here trying to do our job. That's like me coming up here on set and just yelling at y'all all day. Is that going to be annoying to you?
Hell yeah.
Are you going to be able to do your job?
I can. I won't.
I could care less.
Right.
Particularly if they was putting money in my pocket. I would care less. If somebody came up in here, they're not paying me.
Right, but at the same time, you know, you got loved ones and family members that you care about to a deal, right? That you don't want to hear nothing bad talked about them or say anything about them, right? So now when they start to put that incorporated into what they're saying to you, you still going to be able to do your job?
Yeah, because I don't, no, my choice, I'm not trying to be argumentative with it. I'm just trying to give you a 50-year-old perspective.
Right.
I'm never going to let somebody else take me to their level.
I feel you.
I'm on, and so it's not about turning the other cheek. It's like I can't even see you because I know who I am. I know who my family is.
Right.
Your words don't even reach me at that level.
Right, so, but at the same time, they saying just like we saying words, so why should we have the ones to be fine?
Yeah, word on word crime. Ain't no crime there.
They saying words, we saying words, and then they both wrong.
It's almost like what I tell people when they get in a fight or whatever, I always count the bank account. I go, let me check the W-2s. My W-2's so much larger than yours, it's not worth me I'm not beefing down.
All right, well, let's not just talk about words. Let's talk about actions and a team that is full of action. My Clippers, your Clippers.
Yes, sir.
You look at the landscape, obviously, 7th seed right now, at the top, Golden State Warriors, but losing a step or so of late, looking a little vulnerable. What do you see from the Warriors this year?
You know, it's definitely a team that's been up and down. I mean, you're adding another guy in the center position who is not really accustomed to playing that, you know, free pace flowing offense of, you know, shooting continuous threes. You know, he's more of a back to the basket type guy. Not saying he can't do it. You know, DeMarcus Cousins definitely has, you know, extended his game to be able to shoot the three-point shot, but I don't think he does it on a consistent basis as what the other four guys around him that's doing. And, I mean, at the same time, it's still a learning process. I mean, you got guys that you're still just putting on the team, even in the trade deadlines. We've had it. They just added Bogut back to the team, you know, so you're still adding pieces and stuff like that. So it's still going to be a learning process.
Now, everyone keeps saying, oh, make sure your first-round matchup's not the Warriors. If you saw the Warriors, what's our chances?
Grit, grind, compete. Same thing. Get back. We take it just like any other game. You know, we're going in with a game plan of what we want to do, who we want to take away, and we're trying to execute that game plan to win. It doesn't matter who you're playing. It doesn't matter the name on the front of the jersey. You know, they got to still come in and compete, and they still got to come in and play. You know, we've been up to Oracle before and had a big game and won before, so we can do it again.
Yeah. All right, so you said it doesn't matter who you're playing. But can you admit when y'all be beating up on the Lakers like y'all do, winning the valet of the city, the keys to the city, best table at the clubs in L.A., how much you guys enjoy when y'all beat down the Lakers and their demise right now?
Honestly, as being a player in the locker room, we don't really pay too much attention, honestly. You know, honestly, when I first came here as a player, I was one of those guys that kind of get into a debate on back and forth for the Lakers, Clippers, who's better, who's the, you know, L.A. team, that other team. You know, I did that when I first got here, but we don't really pay any attention anymore because at the same time, you know, that's more so for the media, for the outside world, for the fans to kind of bicker back and forth and debate, you know. We're just more so going out there, doing what we got to do on the court, you know, and stats prove itself.
Does Patrick Beverly agree with you? Because it seems like he's still caught up in that.
Probably not.
Montrez, I want to ask you this. When Tobias Harris got moved, those of us on the outside was like, oh, man, they tanking or they've given up. And it's like, damn, no, they're not. And so I interpret it as like, the organization, Steve Ballmer, Doc Rivers, and the players that are remaining of like, no, man, we're going to do the best we can so that we're even more attractive this offseason to a Kawhi Leonard or whoever else might be out there?
As far as the offseason, I really don't know. We more so leave that into the front office hands. But, you know, to go back on the comment that you made where you said, you know, the outside world thought we was tanking, that was the outside world. You know, we knew what the front offices was kind of doing after it happened. Luke called, taught another veteran guy in our locker room, asked the sense of direction of where we was going. And, you know, they gave him a flat-out answer. And I think when you have that relationship to, you know, trickle down from the front office to the players to communication to show you that, you know, we're all in this together, we're all fighting for the same thing, that's a big respect thing, you know. So for him to be able to pick up the phone and do that in that point in time and him get a straightforward answer, I think it worked out in our favor. And it just goes to show you that, you know, this is an organization that, you know, is still about the players, you know. It's not just about, you know, them versus us, you know, the guys in the office versus the players, you know. It's everybody tied into one. We're all fighting for the same thing.
Great job, thanks for coming by, man. The Charles Oakley of the new NBA.
Hey guys, Jason Whitlock here. Thank you for listening to the Speak for Yourself podcast. If you like what you hear, then you should take a minute to check out the Maybe I'm Crazy podcast hosted by The Herd's very own Joy Taylor. On the Maybe I'm Crazy podcast, you'll tap into a different take on the world of sports. Joy will break down all the biggest stories from the NFL, NBA culture, in and out of sports, and everything in between. So subscribe now for a weekly episode of Maybe I'm Crazy every Tuesday night on your favorite podcast platform. Now back to the show.
All right, welcome back.
Look at that, baby.
Here's how excited Marcellus and I are for the big pay-per-view. They sent us our own shorts.
Woo!
You know what bothers me, though?
What?
They sent me, these are 4X shorts.
Hey, they too small for us. Y'all know who y'all sent
That's
these
an
to.
insult, man.
Super heavyweights over here.
I'm wearing 3.5X.
3.5. We've been working out. I love this. Respect, man.
Oh, man, it's time to get antisocial.
Let's do
I
it.
forgot my Twitter off here. TJ
go get 'em.
Houshmandzada and Katino Mobley back in the house.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it, Darnell.
Back on the shelves. Books back on the shelves.
First, before we go anywhere,
What's up?
no cap. We just had a debate. You got the no cap T-shirt on.
Yeah.
I thought it meant like there's no limit to
Salary
how
cap?
high I can achieve.
Nah, I ain't never heard of
You
you.
talking about CBA and salary cap.
Right, no. It's used more so when
get it.
someone's flaunting some money or some jewelry and they just, no cap. Like, it's nothing. It's nothing to me. It's more so bragging.
Unfortunately, I know how much money you make. You have a cap.
That's on you, Whit. Oh, man. I can't respond to that.
Coming in hot. They coming in hot, boy. That was
You
the
and
best.
Uncle Jimmy got a cap.
Anyways, man, look, Twitter was buzzing yesterday with the big Odell trade. Former Browns wide receiver Andrew Hawkins mentioned Travis Kelce in a tweet regarding the new and improved Browns offense. The Chiefs tight end responded by saying, "We've already got the best offense in the league over here." Patrick Mahomes responded with the 100 emoji. Whitlock, do you think Mahomes versus Mayfield is the new Brady versus Manning?
Yeah, and I think the NFL is very invested in this rivalry. Both of these guys are ratings generators, hard to take your eyes off of them. And now OBJ, Jarvis Landry, Kareem Hunt on one side, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Pat Mahomes on the other.
I love it.
Yeah. Who would have thought that we have to have at minimum 8 primetime Cleveland Brown games to just satisfy our appetite to watch this team? Obviously, Kansas City, they've already done it. We think potential when we see this Cleveland roster, but 2 capable quarterbacks and doing it with different personalities, which is going to be interesting. That's going to be a great sale for the NFL for a decade.
Cleveland Browns have turned into must-see TV now.
Yeah.
If Baker Mayfield can take that jump in his second year like Patrick Mahomes did,
Yeah, he ain't
it's
Mahomes.
I
for the
think
next 10 years.
Well, he's not Mahomes.
But he got better weapons around him.
yeah,
got better weapons.
he's not
He ain't
Mahomes.
got Andy Reid.
Yeah, he's not Mahomes,
He
but
does not have Andy Reid.
yeah, he don't have Andy Reid.
Yeah, that's not in the
He might be in trouble with that Reggie Kitchen. I don't know.
Reggie, yeah.
What's you good for?
What's next?
Moving on to Cleveland native LeBron James, who seems pretty pumped about the Browns getting OBJ. Brown posted this pic of Odell in a Browns jersey on Instagram with the caption, "Oh my, stuff just got real." Fans were encouraged by this post, believing it was a sign that he actually wants to go back to Cleveland. I think the fans are reaching, but do you guys think LeBron's got FOMO about the land?
No, I don't think he has fear of missing out. I think he has regret about leaving Dan Snyder and just them going over the salary cap and buying him anything he wants. he made a mistake leaving Cleveland.
Look at you, boy. You had to get that off your chest. You had that. You're like, when am I going to get a LeBron story to drop?
He was so ready for that, he didn't even finish.
And then he starts shaking on you. Ain't
real
right.
sarcastic.
And then lean to the side at the end.
Hey, it's like that girlfriend you leave right when she start working out. You're like, damn, hold on, let me call her. Yeah, baby, how you doing? Everything good?
I think it's just the fan in LeBron that just came out. He's like, look, in a singular focus, I'm a fan of the Cleveland Browns.
Yes.
I'm from Akron, and good for us. I think that's it.
He supports
He
Ohio.
played football growing up. So
Yeah.
he's a football fan. That's basically his hometown team. And
Right.
it's looking like they're going to be
Oh, I saw him
much
in the Rams locker room out here.
It's okay to like two teams, though.
Wasn't he boycotting the Super Bowl? Wasn't he boycotting the Super Bowl? All right.
Don't do that. You said he went to the Rams game and didn't wear the Kaepernick jersey then? He boycotted the game?
I wonder how Cap fits into this.
No cap.
No Cap. Oh, okay.
No cap.
No cap.
No cap.
All right, Darnell, what's next?
Yeah, moving on to a young quarterback who had a pretty good season. Lamar Jackson posted on his Instagram story this video of himself speeding at 105 miles per hour while holding his phone. You can also see in the video that a seatbelt light is on, so he's being a little reckless here. Do you have a problem with Lamar flaunting this?
Again, I don't know if he put out the video to show that I was speeding, but I just think this is almost like Jussie Smollett. Remember writing checks to criminals? And now he's putting his cell phone on video, committing a crime. Not the smartest thing.
Yeah, I will say this, man. Every time I see someone show a story, a post, and they're actually the one driving, I always be like, dog, why are you driving and filming? Like, let your passenger do that.
What I want to know is, what are you showing everybody? Trees on
bracelet.
both sides. Like, what are you?
That bracelet.
That
You see the
bracelet?
I saw it.
Bracelet, the music.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
I'm
young.
not.
Look how happy I am.
What
The
are
only
you
problem
post-
is you going 105 with no seatbelt.
That's crazy.
Bro, the first thing I do when I get in the car, I might start it and I'm putting that seatbelt on. 105?
Okay.
Yeah, accident you
105.
on.
I ain't gonna lie, I got a reckless driving ticket going 125. I had a seatbelt on.
When was this?
And I was, this is,
But you had your seatbelt on though.
well, I have my seatbelt on, but this is, all I'm saying is because sometimes we could get up here and be like, what are you doing? I did that before. And we didn't have a camera.
Well,
phone.
I don't like
And-
speeding,
And
so-
I was slowing down when the police called me at
I'm a
125.
speed,
like speed.
but I'm gonna have that seatbelt on.
I don't
yeah,
like
I have a seatbelt on.
I don't like speeding, so I don't.
Again, I have the benefit of being 50, and so I do remember, though, being 30 and getting my first Mercedes, and I got popped going 117.
There you go.
And it was dumb.
Dumb,
And,
right.
and you know, I had to go through court cases and made the papers and everything. And so I hope he learns from this. But I can't come. I've been there.
Thank you. That's what I
But
was
with
thinking.
the cell phone, that's
Hey
an
man, when you
extra
get
layer.
these new nice cars, you like, man, let me see how fast I can go.
And you don't feel it.
Yeah.
Like, I was going,
Feel
what?
like you're going 60.
You feel like you're going
Yeah.
60. I hear you.
All right, it's time for Darnell's question of the day. Take it away, Darnell.
It's Darnell.
My guy. My question of the day. My guy. My question of the day. 285 pounds. All right, guys. So, big controversy hit college athletics this week with parents and coaches committing fraud to get students into certain universities. So, my question is, do you think the people caught up in this college admission scandal should go to prison?
Prison.
This is a tough one for me just because I'm sympathetic to anybody that has to go to prison. And this will sound like I'm being silly, but I'm just being real. It's like when OJ went to jail, I felt sorry. Anybody trapped in a cage, I feel sorry for. Having said that, y'all sat here and heard me rant and rave. They just sent some college basketball coaches and an Adidas official to jail for giving some poor kids some money. And I was like, hey, how come no one's upset about this? This is crazy. They're sending people to jail for violating amateurism rules. Crazy. They're going to prison. And so if those guys can go to prison, these guys can go to prison too.
Yeah, is there a law that was broken? Yeah, well, you're going to have to deal with the consequences. Can't change it now. Oh, it's a dumb law. Well, you're dumber for breaking it then. You know what? You got to know what the parameters are. I understand that there may be even good intentions, great intentions. I want my kid to go to the school. I'm donating. Okay, it's a guy that got the connect. And I love how these schools are trying to distance themselves. Hold on. There's a guy who will take the bribe to get your kid into school. There's someone on the inside at every single one of these schools that's accepting this bribe. So let's just be careful of how we're trying to see the distance from these universities. Sad that they got to go to jail, but they got to go.
Yeah, me personally, I don't think they should go to prison, but after you say what you say, about the college basketball scandal? 100%, because they're covering all this up. Let's wire the money to this. Let's do that. Let's do this. My thing is, why as a government are we wasting money on an investigation into college basketball bribery into this? Like, spend the money with something that really matters. This, for me, it's a minor thing, but it's a big thing.
Well,
now.
tax evasion ain't tax evasion.
I'm not sure if they were evading taxes.
Well, no, my man, Mr. Bribe, who was facing 40-something
They
years.
literally went to one of these people's homes with guns drawn.
yeah,
like,
yeah, I saw
really?
that.
Is,
Right.
is
They
it
got one
that
of them
serious?
Yeah,
They got
that's
It's
a little
not
bit.
that
I love her,
serious.
too.
Yeah, that's
She's
a little
really
bit too much. And Jason, all of you guys make great points. And like you said, if you're gonna penalize those college basketball kids and the
It's
officials
coaches.
the coaches behind it, you have to do the same thing with these people as well. As simple as
Listen,
that.
when you
don't-
have
don't bend no
have
rule.
a daughter or a kid or son that's going to college, that stress of getting into college, I know when she took that ACT.
Yeah, I get it.
And I looked at it, I was like, man, you better pass this test.
Yeah.
This tutoring is expensive.
I feel sorry for the students who
Yeah.
didn't know that they didn't get in on their own
But
merits.
a lot of
Right.
time, hey,
That
that student
hurts.
might be like, man, yeah, you can pay somebody to take this test. Like, yeah, they know them
Things
tests are
happen.
hard.
I will say that I do think this is far more pervasive than people think.
Say it.
And
Man,
so
yes,
I'm going to
yes,
give the
yes.
government credit for, like, hey, man, if people knew how pervasive this was, I'm going to go all the way back to when I got to Kansas City in the 90s or 2000s. I knew a writer who helped kids with their entrance letters. He was paid money to write their entrance letters and all this other stuff. This is very pervasive among the elite. And so to some degree, I don't blame them for wanting to break this up and make examples out of people. And some people are sitting there going, oh my God, they drew guns on an actress, a well-known actress or whatever. And they're just appalled. But I'm like, hey man, you ever been in the hood? They come in there with guns drawn too.
Right.
So,
right.
you know, what people don't understand a lot of times about the criminal justice system, it's very political. And anything that's high profile that will help build a prosecuting attorney's political resume, they will do.
There was a reason this happened. Something happened to where somebody might have blown the whistle and was like,
somebody's
okay,
going to get
yeah.
elected to a bigger office based off of this
For
investigation.
sure. You follow the trail.
Yeah. And that price tag was
Follow
getting
the
too
trail.
high, so I'm glad that
Man,
they
they
did
was
come out.
getting-
Dang.
Something you can afford for little.
My little man better play some ball. I ain't buying you into school, bro.
I'm Jason Whitlock. He's Marcellus Wiley. Time to put on our thinking caps.
Gucci.
Tino Mobley,
No cap.
Dante Jones are back with us. Oh, Dante Jones, this is his first segment. Dante is the champion. Dante Jones. As you all know, I'm a journalist, and we've got our resident Ivy Leaguer, Marcellus Wiley.
Say it
here.
again.
So we're going to take a deeper look at a big issue in the world of sports. We've got our special cap for our Columbia grad, Darnell bringing
Yeah,
in.
and no bribery. I got in.
Bottom of the Ivy League.
I bet you if you ran a 5.2, you wouldn't have got
You're
in.
damn right I wouldn't. Wouldn't be here either.
Let's move to the NBA, where Russell Westbrook was fined $25,000 for directing profanity and threatening language to a fan. The incident in question took place Monday night in Utah when Westbrook says a Jazz fan told him to, quote, get on your knees like you're used to, a comment Westbrook considered disrespectful and racial. Jazz star Donovan Mitchell came to Westbrook's defense saying, this wasn't the first time something like this happened in our arena. The Jazz went one step further, permanently banning the fan. Sadly, this wasn't the only confrontation in the NBA this week. In New York, Knicks owner James Dolan says a fan ambushed him when he told him to, quote, sell the team. Dolan responded by banning him from the Garden. I happen to see, and I'm sure you guys will all disagree, I see a lot of similarities here between James Dolan and Russell Westbrook. If you listen to James Dolan complain about this fan, he thought he was disrespected. He thought this fan was out of line, and he needs to be permanently banned. And I'll just once again say, to whom much is given, much is expected, thicker skin. This is the behavior of elites. James Dolan, Russell Westbrook, millionaire athlete, billionaire owner. Someone does something that they seem disrespectful, we must banish them. I just completely disagree with that.
Whitlock, let's all define or at least subscribe to a code of ethics. And one of the rules that I subscribe to is it's okay to talk about the act, but not the actor. Think about it. When you're talking about performance-based criticism, which Russell Westbrook is saying, hold on, you can talk about my game all you want. He even said in his post-game interview, man, y'all been talking about me, how I play all this time. That hasn't changed a thing. James Dolan is not the same as Russell Westbrook. James Dolan, you actually just received some performance-based criticism from a fan who just said, you know what, man? I don't like how you are a owner, so sell the team. Russell Westbrook was not told that. He was told, I don't respect you as a man, as a human, and I'm going to call you outside your name as a person.
How?
And it did not talk about the basketball player. If you give me parallels.
Deal with the facts.
The facts. This wasn't
Russell
performance-based.
Westbrook's facts were, according to Russell, get on your knees like you're used to.
Right. Is that about basketball?
But again,
Is that about basketball?
It's
That's
just
where
that's my
that-
problem.
That's where he is
There's
not
nothing to do with the
accepting the
same.
information.
James Dolan and Russell, there's nothing to do with the same.
The,
Yes, it
the
is.
Utah Jazz looked
No.
at the situation, interviewed fans, and there were more racial statements made from that fan. There were other people.
I
that
played in Utah, you played in Utah.
Right, and there were other accounts of words being said from that fan on that incident. That's why they banned him. James Dolan's case, where he's a little delusional about his franchise. He's a delusional about his efforts in trying to build that franchise. They said, sell the team.
Job
That's an
performance.
opinion.
Right.
That's not a racial slur. That's not something that denotes him as a man. That's a business decision.
New York Knicks,
It's different.
His father had that team. He inherited the team, correct?
Nothing wrong with that, though.
Right.
No, it's not wrong with it.
I'm about
But
to say, 'cause my
but
son
but
would,
my
too.
point is about being humble and about really trying. Come on, man. James Dolan. I have my own whatever about James Dolan, but Russell Westbrook and James Dolan. That man, whoever that fan was, what he said to James Dolan is nothing compared to what that man said.
in your mind, I may even agree with you.
What did Donovan Mitchell say?
May even agree with you. All we're talking about is Russell Westbrook and James Dolan.
Cannot
I
make
may even
parallels
agree
to the
with
two
you.
statements.
James Dolan feels differently, and that's the slippery slope.
No, James
We're
Dolan
gonna-
has more power.
I get
It's
it.
different. He doesn't feel differently. His
He
feelings
has a
were
different kind
it's
of
different.
power.
It's-
He has a whole different kind of power because there is a power in someone saying to you, get on your knees, and then you have the power to say, you know what, that's racial to me, and turn it into a racial discussion. That was Russell Westbrook exercising his power because he knows exactly how that's gonna land. Once he says it's racial, everybody has to jump.
It
to
is
his side.
racial.
Get on your knees.
That ain't
What
racial.
you think it's sexual?
It's either sexual or racial.
Which one?
Which one is it?
None of them is
It
basketball.
ain't nothing else.
None of them is basketball.
I'm
not
just
business.
It's not
I'm
basketball.
going to tell you how I heard it
All right, let's hear it.
originally.
You interpret
And there
it?
is some race
Your
to it.
interpretation.
Yeah, my interpretation,
Okay,
right.
okay.
I thought he was talking about the national anthem thing. And I do interpret that as having something to do with race.
Get on your knees like you used to. There was no
That
national
was the
anthem.
third quarter? What quarter was
Again.
it?
Yeah, and they won. I
I'm
was in the
saying,
fourth.
Sports fan telling an athlete to get on your knees. Anytime I say it, I'm telling you, I'm talking about the national anthem at this point.
In the fourth quarter?
Well, in basketball,
It
we didn't
doesn't
do
even
it.
matter what
Nothing to do
quarter.
with basketball.
Still not basketball.
The guy said he said something that sounded somewhat believable. Ice your knees.
They had a lot of
sit
witnesses
down.
after that, Whit.
No, I know. I read a lot of the witnesses.
Donovan Mitchell said this is not the first time it happened.
Totally get it. And so does James
And we both
Dolan.
know that this is
Donovan
not
Mitchell
the
said it's
climate
not the
in
first
Utah
time it happened.
at some points in time.
You got to understand.
I ain't played in 10 years in Utah.
Coutinho, here's the issue. Here's the issue.
Go ahead.
Just because you interpret it and he interprets it.
No, we
And
both
he
been to,
interpreted.
we both played in Utah. We know the
Experience.
climate.
I know in Utah what they do.
We know the climate.
First of all, quit lying. Quit acting like Utah's the only place.
I'm
did
telling you,
not
I'm gonna
say
tell you
that.
out of all the
Okay,
cities.
Nobody said
Out
that.
of all the cities, Utah is one of the #1 cities where they do those fans do that.
Doesn't
That's
happen
period.
in Boston.
Yeah, and I said that last night. I said it last night.
No, you're on
Boston
this
and Utah.
show today.
I said this last night at home. Boston and Utah are those two cities out of a lot of the cities that they will say things like that.
Again, I'm from Indiana. And
Okay.
the same
No.
I get it. I know you spent some time in Indiana. I grew up there. My whole family's from there. I know what's
That's 25 years ago.
30.
My parents don't live there now.
I mean, how much time do you spend in Indiana
More
right now?
than you.
I
own property there. All my
I've
friends
spent
and
a lot of
family are there.
concentrated time in Indiana, and they don't have fans like that in Indiana.
Are you
That's all I'm
kidding
saying.
me?
Their fans don't operate like that in Indiana.
I'm not saying
I
they
haven't
don't
seen
have
Indiana.
fans like
now,
that.
I'm talking about
Jason,
now, right
Jason,
now.
I'm
Right
not
now,
saying
the
they
last
don't
10
have
years.
fans
Bro,
like
you
that.
can't tell me about Indiana.
Listen,
Okay.
I'm not saying they don't have fans like
Got a
that
nice little
in
view.
Indiana, but all I'm saying is I know for a fact Utah and Boston are two of those cities where they say things they shouldn't say out their mouth. Period. I'm with Russell Westbrook.
And here's my position. You can't go to any arena, anywhere, without hearing people say inappropriate
Man, that's not what we're
things.
talking about.
We're talking about arenas.
You trying to
What
spread it
happens in
around.
arenas?
You trying to spread
because
it around
it
like
is
that.
spread around.
No,
Y'all think
they're not
you-
saying it in Miami. They're not saying it in LA. They're not saying it in Chicago. They're not saying it. No, we're
New
not
York.
doing that. We're talking about Utah, and their star player even said in his thing that's not the first time it happened. Then he sidetracked it after he said that and said, well, I don't want everybody to think that that's how Utah is. Well, if it ain't the first time it happened, why are you trying to cover it up? You with Russell or not? I'm with Russell. Because that guy, he erased tweets.
And that's the problem. Again, I'm with Russell. I'm not on either side other
I'm
than
with
just
Russell.
following the truth wherever it goes.
Sometimes you got to make an example out
Anytime
of
you got to
people.
shut your Twitter account down, your social media account down, and erase, then it shows your true colors. It shows what you've been doing in the past. It shows how you really feel about people.
Yeah, how do you feel?
But again, if we
that's how you
eliminate...
acted. So you're trying to say what he
Dante,
said.
if we eliminate all the people that feel like that guy, we're going to empty out a lot of arenas.
Then we should try to make people better people. We should try to
Dante,
take away things. We should
Dante,
try.
Dante,
We should try.
Dante,
We should do our
Dante,
best at a
I'm going to go to a very real place.
Talk to me.
Just in the commercial break, you dropped the B word.
That's okay.
There are some people that can be very
Okay, but I can
offended
be
by
better.
that
And you said to me,
so cut it
I
out.
took advice from you, and you were absolutely correct.
Cut it
You were absolutely
out.
correct.
Cut it out. We got to quit acting like...
That was 20 years ago that I was giving you a scene.
Hey, it was just a few minutes ago.
No, I was explaining something from 20 years ago on
I
that.
get it. But I'm just saying, we have to cut this thing out that we're going to eliminate all these flawed people. Because at the end of the day, every one of us is flawed. And you can sit here and pretend like you've never said nothing you regret. You've never racially said something that you regret. Cut it out.
When I say
live
something,
in the real
when
world.
I say something, I mean it, and I'm gonna tell you like this: yes, we do learn, but I'm not gonna let you disrespect me and be in the place where I'm the one they come to see. They don't come to see you. I'm controlling
the
it.
exact same way. And
James
again,
Dolan
it's
is something
slippery-
different because
it's
I got
a slippery slope.
James Dolan's something
Everybody gets to be an individual judge about what they
James
are
Dolan was
offended
more of
by
a
and who they
narcissist.
get to kick out of the arena. And if that's the thing, the
the
standard we're
same.
gonna set, we're gonna have people like James Dolan, and everybody gets kicked out.
I love you though.
Man.
Whitlock and Wiley, Cuttino Mobley, and Dante Jones are back. Let's return to the NBA, where rumors continue to swirl that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving may team up and join forces with the Knicks next season. Charles Barkley went on a Sports Illustrated podcast and said this would be a massive mistake, adding, quote, I don't think Durant or Kyrie are tough enough to play in New York. Those guys are complaining about the media asking questions. Maybe New York isn't for them. Disagree with Charles here just because I think New York is everywhere. And it's in Golden State, it's in LA. The internet's made the world so small. If you got rabbit ears, you're going to pick it up.
I like that analogy.
In
I
New
like
York,
that. I
everywhere.
like
That's exactly what it is. It's old folklore. Back in the days when the newspapers dominated media coverage.
don't.
I mean, you're on page 6. And when the last time you read page 6? Never. You know what? So who cares if there's a media circus around me? I'm Kevin Durant. I play in a dynastic situation with Golden State. I got media coverage. I play with the king if I'm Kyrie Irving. There's media coverage. Now you got to go to New York. It's just one of those things like, it's the Mecca. Oh, it's the basketball haven. Oh, you know what? The media is going to just tear you apart. It's not. It's just more people just going to say the same things. I don't think it's...
New York media is definitely a harder, it's not just the media, but just the environment. The environment is serious. And having Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving, I believe what you showed me. They've already showed me the sensitive side when it comes to scrutiny with inside the media and them. So now you got to go to New York. You're not in Boston. You're not in OKC. You're not in Golden State. You're not in Cleveland with LeBron James. You can be, all that's been deflected because you have other stars. Now it's just you two. Now in New York, just making the playoffs not going to do because you got two greats.
Thanks.
You got to go to the championship. Now, if y'all gonna stay there and sign contracts with the 4, 5, 6 years and you don't go, I don't care where you at, but New York ain't the place you go and you ain't winning no championship. You can forget about that.
New York fans are a little bit more aggressive. They're a little bit more impatient than the normal set of fans. So while I agree partly with you guys that there are more New Yorks out there than just New York, like the Laker fan base is impatient and raw about their takes on winning and not winning. But when those two places are just not the place for a sensitive person. So I get what he's saying. If you care about the media, like you're gonna have 4 sets of the same story come out in New York because it's so much attention on media and news. And the writers are different. The writers are trying to get clickbait. The writers are
and you can't hide
stories.
And you can't
but
hide
it's
them.
not this. It's not in Indiana. You're not having the same type of stories. In OKC, the same type of stories. And Kevin Durant weren't coming out. Milwaukee doesn't have the same type of media. So no, there are more places like New York now with Instagram and Twitter and the media coverage. But New York is still a harsh, aggressive place for media and for sensitivity. So I understand what he's saying.
Yeah. They called Kevin Durant Mr. Unreliable in OKC.
At the end of the season. But New York, you're going to deal with that on a nightly basis. I've seen people boo Charles Oakley mid-season for taking jump shots. Like, that you don't, and it's a close game. It's not like the end of the game where they're losing by a lot. Like, they boo you according to their temperament.
Were you guys like this? When I played, I was very distant from media coverage, through the highs and through the lows. Like, I was so surprised when I retired and started to work in media that there were so many shows, so many entities, so many programs, so many personalities. You guys the same? Media coverage did not internalize. I was like, I don't care if you're giving me love or killing me.
Well, I stayed away from it.
I didn't even try to. It's just I had other things preoccupy me, which is building my game in a finite amount of time. I wasn't concerned with it.
Uncle Jimmy's here. Any thoughts on the show so far? Who's your big dummy of the day?
Oh.
First of all, let me just say, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to hand out the Big Dummy of the Day award.
Man.
Quickly.
And first of all, that big dummy goes to whoever thought that LeBron James would miss Cleveland over Los Angeles. The hell you say?
Where?
Who would think such a thing? I think the temperature in Cleveland is 12. The weather in Los Angeles is 72. That's a dummy if I ever seen one.
All right. All right. Here's our highlight from our discussion earlier about Odell Beckham Jr.
Is that a part of this, the cough?
Cleveland Browns, I must warn you. I sense something strange in my mind. OBJ is poison. Poison. Poison.
Oh, man, this is an amazing opportunity if you're Odell Beckham Jr. You wake up with that juice. You wake up on your toes, that pep in your step the entire offseason. I think Odell's definitely happy today.
All right, Uncle Jimmy. I know you like music. I'm sure you loved my take today.
Once again, I know y'all gonna find this hard to believe, but you screwed up your analogies once again as usual.
Oh, man.
You sit up here focusing on Bell Biv DeVoe, talking about the Giants singing Poison.
You didn't like that?
Oh. No. And I also didn't like the comparison comparing the Cleveland Browns to the Golden State Warriors either.
I kind of like that. That was a good one.
And you also like random cases of chafing too, but that's why you're dumb as my nephew.
You are nuts.
Dummy. I told y'all, how many times I done said it? I need to be hosting this show. we need the Uncle Jimmy law.
What would you have said?
Yeah, that part.
Yeah.
First of all, I'd have broke it down. I told y'all, hey, OBJ, that's Johnny Gill. And the Browns is New Edition. And the song would be Can You Stand the Rain? Hey, remember Johnny said, on a perfect day, I know that I can count on you. If that's not possible, tell me, can you weather the storm?
Hit it.
And then Jarvis Landry come in doing that Ralph Tresvant part. Because I need somebody who will stand by me through the good times and bad times, who will always ODB. Always be right there. Hey, then your boy Baker talking about sunny day. It's all over. It's all over, baby. Everybody
That's pretty good.
I like it.
That would have been a decent Whitlock. I gotta admit that.
Yeah, that's killing it.
What I keep telling you, who should be the host of the show? Matter of fact, it should be called Speak for Uncle Jimmy and Dumb and Dumber.
Who's dumber?
Well, right now, my nephew, but boy, you gaining ground right at a rapid rate. Now, this current show that y'all doing, I think y'all should just change the name to Two Dumbs of Fun. And let me repeat this. Let me say this again.
What?
Because, see, y'all up here playing, y'all don't know what real poison is. Y'all don't get my money right on this new contract. Hey, well, y'all think LBJ was a problem in New York?
OBJ.
Their
was
president?
a problem in New York. Y'all think he was a problem?
Yeah.
Don't get my money right.
What?
Hey, boy, I'm gonna make OBJ look like Sister Teresa. I mean, Mother Teresa. Hey, bro, let me tell you something. I've been watching what's going on. I done seen OBJ, I done seen AB. Hey, boy, I'll force a trade. Hey, I'll make y'all trade me to pardon that interruption. Hey, now you want to talk about a dream team? Put me, Mike, Tony, put us together.
Yeah.
Hey, boy, that's the Beastie Boys all over again. Hey, here's a little story that needs to be told.
Let me get to my approval rating.
Man, you doing your part to force it right now. Keep talking, Uncle. Keep talking. You was nuts.
You don't even know the lyrics to Paul
You don't
Revere.
want to leave
All right.
there.
Look, I'm actually moving OBJ up 4 points
Okay.
in character. He's moving to the Midwest, get the Midwest values in and get that East Coast
Yeah,
stuff out
grown
of
man.
him.
I thought the zebra don't change the stripes. Now you gonna get some new stripes because he in the Midwest?
Environment will help him out. Environment. I got him at a 69.
Yeah, I kept him the same. I don't think much has changed, except he has a better quarterback. So the job performance, the way that this played out, not necessarily what he desired, but he landed in the place he should desire. Everything else pretty much the same. Character goes up 1 because he took it like a man. He did the right thing.